Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Things look a little different today. Husband moved my camera around and honestly I just can't be bothered to try to figure out the angle. Also have this giant bucket of sunflowers because I was off work today and my mom and my sister and my nieces and I went out to this local sunflower farm. So you basically get this bucket and you can pick as many sunflowers as you want. This is the result. Apparently some people pick like 80 and stuff them in this bucket. I think we had like 12, I don't know, not 80. But I wanted to jump on here and do the mid-year book freakout tag because I believe I've done this before. I will link it in the cards if I have, but it's been going around and this is a fun kind of like middle of the year wrap-up kind of situation to kind of tell you what I've been liking, that kind of thing. If you hear some crazy noises, my neighbor is having trees cut down, so there may be the sound of a mulcher. We'll see. Hopefully we can get through this video without that. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. The first question is, what is the best book that you've read in 2018? I didn't have anything that was like super standout this year. The best thing that I read though was A Closed and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. This was one that I was really anticipating reading and it didn't disappoint. Becky Chambers has beautiful writing and I really enjoyed reading this. The next one is the best sequel that you read in 2018, and this easily could have also been best book that I read, but I knew it was going to be sequel, so, and that's Assassin's Fate by Robin Hobb. This is a huge book. I listened to these on audiobook and I highly recommend the audiobooks for these, but this is such a beautiful cover as well, the UK paperbacks. But this was an amazing conclusion to the Realm of the Elderlings arc of books, and I loved it. I laughed, I cried. It was pretty much everything I wanted in a concluding book to that arc. And then number 3 is a recent release that you haven't read yet but do you want to get to, and this one wasn't released in 2018, it was actually released in 2017. But I pre-ordered the book in April of 2017 and didn't come out until November, and I still haven't read it and I don't know why. But that is Gin City by Sahad Hussein, and I was anticipating this so much last year and I'm still very excited about this book, so I really don't know why I haven't read it yet. I think that this is going to be one of the next books that I pick up because I just really want to read this before the end of 2018, especially because I pre-ordered it over a year ago. And then the most anticipated book for the second half of the year for me is The Glass Ocean, and this is a novel that is a compilation between 3 women, Beatrice Williams, Lauren Willig, and Karen White. And their other novel, which was The Forgotten Room, I liked. I read anything Lauren Willig writes, basically. And this is set on the Lusitania, I think. But it sort of feels a little bit Titanic to me. So I'm really looking forward to that one coming out and getting my hands on it and reading it right away. Next up we have the biggest disappointment and the biggest surprise. So the biggest disappointment for me was Miss Burma by Charlene Craig. That book, I could not, it was too much. And it was one of those things where it was like, there are parts of this story that could have been told in a way that made the story not feel just so depressing and upsetting, because yes, that is the nature of the history of Burma, but Burma also has, or Myanmar also has, light things and beautiful things in their history, and it was just, I just was not expecting that from the book and I did not enjoy it at all. And then as far as a big surprise, Neon Green by Margaret Rappler. This was such a surprise to me. I fell in love with this cover the first time I saw it on Mercedes' channel, and then I was really excited to find it when I was in LA at a bookstore, because it is by an LA press, and I really enjoyed this. The characters, the family relationships, the little quirky things regarding the alien ship. Basically, this is the story of a family and how they are affected by winning this contest and having an alien ship live in their backyard, and just kind of the things that go on in their family, the things that go on in their town, and how this alien ship plays a part in all of that. And it's just so good, so good. I really, really enjoyed this. I didn't really have a new to me or debut author that I just really loved. Nothing that I read and thought, I need to read this author's entire backlist. The only one that sort of comes close was Kevin Wilson. I read the short story collection Tunneling to the Center of the Earth, and these are just like slice of life stories. And I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed Kevin's writing style, and I am encouraged to pick up more of his novels. They just, when I look at them, they aren't all my cup of tea, but I do want to read something else by him because I think he's an excellent writer, and this one kind of piqued my interest in that. I wouldn't say he's a new favorite writer, but I definitely want to see more from him. And then next up we have favorite fictional crush, which I only like that this question is in here because every year I get to see the hilarious faces that Adam from Memento Mori makes. Adam, I feel basically the same way, which is, let's move on. So the next one is new favorite character, and I wouldn't call him a new favorite character because I have read this book before, but I would say that I found again my appreciation and love for the character of Gin in Bel Canto by Ann Patchett. He's just such a layered and interesting character, and I really, really love the way that he's kind of like this non-character at times, because he is the translator and he's supposed to not be there, but he is ever present in the book, and there's just something really magical about his character that I love, and I just fell back in love with him and with that story. The next two are a book that made you laugh and a book that made you cry. So as far as books that made me laugh, this is hands down the one that had me just laughing out loud to the point where I would have to go back and read the passages to Justin because it was just so funny. And that's The Little Bookshop at Big Stone Gap by Wendy Welch, and this is a nonfiction book about a little bookstore in Big Stone Gap, Virginia, that this kind of chronicles they're opening that bookstore. They're getting involved in a small town that very much sees anyone who wasn't born there as an outsider, and also the daily kind of life of running a bookstore and things that you don't think about that are involved in that, and just adorable, cute little stories. This book made me laugh and it made me cry. It was just the sweetest, and I will continue to recommend this to anybody who loves books about books or books about bookstores. And the book that made me cry was The Two Family House. I am blanking on the name of the author, but I will put the book up here. That book was so heartbreaking. The whole thing is just gut-wrenching. It's basically a story about two women who give birth to children on the same night, a boy and a girl, during a blizzard. Their husbands are away, and how what happens that night affects their entire lives for both families for decades, and their relationships with each other, their relationships with their husbands, their relationships with their other kids. It's just so fascinating and just heartbreaking. I think I cried like 10 times in that book. It was so heartbreaking. So the next two are a little less book related. The first one is favorite book to movie adaptation that you saw this year, and I only saw one, but even if I had seen like 10, I'm pretty sure this would be my favorite book to movie adaptation, and that is Love, Simon. That movie is just so important in so many ways. So the book was phenomenal, but translated into a movie, it was beautiful, it was heartbreaking, and it was so real. So I can't imagine, I had very supportive parents, but I can't imagine what some people who came out at the same time as me in the time and the culture and just everything, the tension in our country at that time. If this movie had existed, to be this beacon of hope, like you're not alone, and just to show parents of these children what it's like to go through that alone, because he you know, Simon does very much go through it alone there for a little while, and it just, I want everyone to see this movie, and I want to watch it a million times. So on a completely different note, my favorite video that I made this year has to be, hands down, the vlog from my company trip to Disney. So when I was at that conference, just because that experience was amazing and is hands down one of my favorite memories and moments from this year. But the fact that I got to document it, and I think that video came out really well, and it's just fun to look back on, that is hands down my favorite. And I have really enjoyed being able to vlog this year, and I'm definitely going to be doing some more of that. And I just love to go back and watch that and just relive how much fun that time was. So the most beautiful book that I bought this year is this gorgeous thing. I don't think that the camera will ever do this justice, but it is absolutely gorgeous. It has so much foiling on it, and I just love this. Oh, just love it. This is set in the 20s in, I think, Cornwall. It's in like northern England, and it has basically, I guess, sort of a Gatsby, like glittering gold vibe to it. I'm not a big fan of Gatsby, but just the fact that it was set in England, just, I don't know, it spoke to me. And this, I was not expecting this cover to be this gorgeous. This is the UK paperback, and I am in love. And the last question is, name some books that you want to get to by the end of the year. I definitely, like I said, want to get to Gen City. That is something that I absolutely want to finish before the end of the year. I am in the middle of the third book in the Inda Quartet, and I want to go ahead and finish that this year because I am enjoying the third book, but I think I would have enjoyed it more if I'd read it right after Fox. So I don't want to do that again with the fourth book, so I'd like to finish those before the end of the year. And then I do want to get back into the Animorph books and read a few of those to kind of catch me up to where I would like to be in reading that series. I think I wanted to be to book 20 by the end of the year, but I don't know. I think that might be unrealistic at this point unless I read a lot of Animorphs books. But yes, so I want to accomplish those things by the end of the year, but for the most part, I am just a pick a book as the mood strikes me kind of person, so I don't really do TBRs and that kind of thing. But yeah. So if you guys enjoyed this video, and I would love for you to subscribe if you haven't already. Give this a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and I will talk to you guys in the comments. I will see you later. Bye.